This video contains the top 3 best Town Hall 13 attack strategies you can use with the new Barbarian Kicker to 3-star any base. Let's kick things off with the Fireball Barbarian Kicker strategy. This is a very strong option as the Barbarian Kickers are basically similar to the Rocket Balloon. To start an attack like this, you're going to use your Flame Flinger and Warden Walk. They can be close or further apart, but for the most part, your Flame Flinger is going to clear defensive structures. Of course, just be very careful of mortars, air and ground expos, and ground expos alongside Teslas, as they can all outrange your Flame Flinger if you're not careful. With the Warden Walk though, you can set this up with a Barbarian Kicker to clear out an air defense. Other than this, you can rage up your Warden in order to make sure that he's able to clear through defensive buildings a little bit quicker. You want to be sure that you are using an Earthquake spell to damage everything around the fireball area and using invisibility spells to control where the fireball is going to go, so once they are invisible, you can easily use that fireball to lock on. It will also do damage to troops, so you do want to try and possibly take advantage of that. Other than this, you just want to be sure to get a large amount of value off of the base with just the Warden Walk so you can set up your heroes. Now, following your Warden Walk, you're going to send in your heroes, and this is really where you can use things like your Super Barbarians to control funneling and Barbarian Kickers to start sniping off defenses. It's incredibly powerful to pair these troops with your heroes. Having the Royal Champion to start diving in and clearing out buildings is going to be very helpful. You do want to make sure that you are controlling where your heroes are going, so even if your king's on the outside, that'll be completely fine. You want to make sure though that even if you lose the Warden, you should have the Queen with her ability, possibly being able to turn this into a nice Queen charge, while having your Barbarian Kickers to continue to snipe off buildings, especially on the outside. You can use your Super Barbarians to start cleaning up. You have a jump spell possibly if you want to take that in order to get a little bit deeper, which I would recommend, and otherwise you're just using those Barbarian Kickers to whittle the base down and very easily 3-star. It's a fun strategy that can work really dang well on a lot of bases. It might not be the easiest, but it's definitely the most fun. Next up, we got the Super Barch with the new Barbarian Kicker. This is a great option for those of you who still want to use the Super Archer blimps. For a strategy like this, you're going to be starting off with the Warden and the balloons in order to get the blimp in with an early Grand Warden ability. I'd recommend using a freeze, especially if you're going into something like a sweeper, especially very early. You just want to be sure that you get your blimp in the right area where you can drop in with an invisibility, followed by 2 clones, a rage, and then timing your invisibility spells every 4 seconds. This way it allows you to clear a large area off the base. Possibly getting rid of the Town Hall is extremely nice, but don't worry, you got Barbarian Kickers if you don't remove the Town Hall, so you'll be completely fine. For the most part, you just want to be sure to get rid of as much of that as you can, because it's really going to help, especially with the heroes. Just be very careful of things like giant bombs and small bombs, as they can do a lot of work to your super archers if you're not careful. Now, pretty much from here, you're going to start using your heroes. You do not want to get time fail, so you got to start early. Pretty much you'll be able to deal with the enemy CC. You really don't need a poison for something like this. You can let your heroes take a little bit of damage, but you should have enough troops. With those Barbarian Kickers, just continuously use them sparingly in order to remove defenses. It's still going to be very helpful. Super Barbarians are there in order to make it a lot easier for you to funnel. But for the most part, you really can also let your Barbarian Kickers also set up a pretty solid funnel, since they go from being defense targeting to attacking anything. So definitely take advantage of that. With your Ice Golems, you are providing a tank for your heroes, which can be very, very impactful. You just want to be sure though that you are sparingly and continuously using the Super Barbarians and the Barbarian Kickers. Spamming them in is actually not going to help you, and you want to make sure that you are surgically placing them, which is not that difficult, especially here, since you only need one per defense. Other than this, you just want to be sure to have your Royal Champion go in, clear out some nice structures, and using the ability, she can clear through a lot more. Even if you're dealing with single target Infernos, this strategy can work really well, considering the Barbarian Kickers basically outrange every single defense except for a couple, but at Town Hall 13, you really won't have to worry about that all too much. It is a very powerful way to 3-star if you're still wanting to use the Super Barch army, but of course there are easier options, but this is still a very solid option if you still love to use the Battle Blimp. And lastly, we got my personal favorite, the Mass Electro Dragon. This works extremely well because you can snipe off defenses, especially air defenses, and even still set a funnel. So yes, E-Drag spammers, rejoice. You do want to make sure that you are using lightning to clear out something like a sweeper. It's very useful, but then also having your Barbarian Kickers to snipe off defenses. And what you want to do is you want to snipe off an air defense. This is why you're taking 7 of them so you can guarantee it. Once that goes down, you can send in your Barbarian King and Archer Queen for another air defense on the other side. What's super nice about the Barbarian Kickers is that they can go into funneling mode after you clear out the air defense. This really does allow you to then send in your Electro Dragons. Pretty much, you're going to send them in with an early Rage, the Battle Blimp, and the Grand Warden ability. This is going to pretty much allow you to get to the Town Hall very easily. Other than this, you are going to use those Rage spells to power the E-Drags through a lot of chain, and using free spells specifically over single Infernos and air defenses. Those are the type of things that I would specifically try to go in for if possible. With your Royal Champion, you can use her more on the back end side in order to help clear through, but if you have any free spells, they can really help her. Other than this, you have your heroes to kind of help work around, and they are definitely going to be very useful on the back end. But you also have your Barbarian Kickers. Take advantage of them. They can snipe off an air defense on the back end without you having to worry. So this can be an incredibly great option, and is honestly the best option for them, considering E-Drags are still very easy and simple, and the Barbarian Puppets just extends that, making it even easier because you can snipe off buildings without even needing any super troops, and they're obviously going to be better than using rocket loons. This just goes to show how powerful the new temporary troop is, and just how you can use him to get the best value. Be sure to check out my Town Hall 14 Mass Super Dragon video if you need a easy army for CWL.